Interesting.
Yeah.
Protections that are deserved by humans. Interesting. What's the argument that metaphysical abstract moral principles such as bodily autonomy exist?
Are you saying bodily autonomy doesn't exist?
I'm asking you what the argument that it does exist.
No, do you believe bodily autonomy?
That's a burden shift. That's an informal fallacy. What's the argument that they exist? Go ahead.
Because as humans, without human rights, the world, like, shit. People can't decide what happens to their bodies.
That's not an argument for bodily autonomy exists.
That's just another claim. That's just another claim.
It exists. Why? Because you say so. Riley, why don't we just, pretend that I follow your presupposition? Ask me, let's assume that I believe in God. Ask me why God exists. Go ahead.
I didn't ask you.
Let's say that I were
a warm welcome on what is a lovely evening for football. I'm Guy Mowbray, and I'm joined by Sue Smith on the gantry, and we have squad battle action for you today. It's the Hurricanes, and they...
You're not giving an argument. You're not giving an argument for the existence of metaphysical
take on the founders.
You're just saying it exists because the contrary.
Both sets of fans are certainly up for it. I'm sure that'll give the players a real boost. They'll be hoping to start the game at a fast tempo.
And there it is! 1-0 already! So it's 1-0. The ball gets rolling again.
Yes. Fatigue. I know you're burden shifting.
Good pressure high up the pitch.
Look, I don't think that there's any potential in this interlocutor to engage in a fruitful dialectic. I think that they're lost.
Any questions?
It's internal critique. Engagement bait and rage bait, and then you come up and defend the pro-choice stance. So obviously I'm not entertaining questions that are redirections of my questions back onto your obfuscation.
Why would I entertain?
It's serious.
You're not going to answer.
It's an internal critique. It's one critique on one side of it.
Already! They've hit the ground sprinting here. Well, we go again. It's 2-0 now.
Interesting, yeah.
Gonzalo Guedes. Something happening for them now. Oh, they were getting interested there, but not anymore.
You answered my question. Do you know what a deductively valid argument is?
Lovely, weighted pass. Oh, it must be here. The ref says that's a foul, and that's a penalty. And it's a booking.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, can you?
Make it 3-0.
You failed to procure a deductively valid argument.
And he does the job from the spot.
You never gave me the season leads to this conclusion, and then you said, because bodily autonomy exists. What's the argument for bodily autonomy existing? You're just assuming.
Here it is again. What a brilliant penalty. Cheeky, it's audacious, and the goalkeeper can't do anything about it. He knew exactly where he wanted to put it. That's quality, that.
Answer the question. Answer the question. This is
yeah, it's about getting something on it, that's for sure.
Riley, right? What he's asking you for is the argument that rights exist, right?
You
telling him that rights exist, giving him
nobody wants it. Well, surely
they exist. Why?
Because they feel like they do.
You never gave it as an argument. You never.
Unable to find anyone with that. Founders have the ball again.
169. That's more on your.
Well, that's going to be a free kick.
What's the third of 169?
Here you would know.
I didn't think so. Okay, so.
Oh, real opportunity. Very well. Oh, gloves then post.
There are 7 continents, and they're adjusting to 8 depending on the scientists that you cater to. Lou's here. How many countries are there in the world? think so. Yeah, 192 pending, soon to be 195. Don't fucking try to acknowledge the idea. I've forgotten more than you know. Anyway, so could you go ahead and give me a deductively valid argument? Could you give me a deductively valid argument to approach this conclusion, or are you just going to keep dodging? Obviously.
Switched on and ready to intercept that. That's a good pass.
Still waiting for the argument, by the way.
It's seemed all over before, but there's another to really seal it.
Listen, so you say that a woman,
We've seen it.
not to unalive their children is wrong.
You're advocating for women's rights to be taken
That's the argument that this idiot, this idiot presupposes that metaphysical abstract world principles are real, and then she says,
it's not quite the end product.
It's right because it's a right, guys. So it's like any question the Bible and
you're so stupid. I don't know.
Fuck off.
What's the argument? What's the argument? Let's hear. Embarrassing. Still waiting for the argument. Still waiting for the argument.
Covering possession well.
The argument. Let's hear. By the way, this is recorded. Still waiting for the argument. Is that syllables for you? You can't comprehend these words. Words beyond syllables. This is embarrassing. You can conduct an argument. I'll give you a full account. I'll tell you. For the deductive argument.
Here it comes. Challenge
Like,
with a whistle and a free kick.
Get your extra critique. Good job.
Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God?
That's going to be a valid argument. Still waiting for my Still waiting for the deductive argument. You haven't answered about. So you haven't been able to give an argument for the existence of Christ, you presuppose. And you haven't even been able to give a deductively valid argument. I think you're a low-tier troglodyte that stares at the wall and thinks shadows of the using words that are capacity. What's happening here is that you're getting absolutely demolished. You're getting absolutely demolished. And you know what's funny is that most philosophers, by the way, who adhere to atheism over theism are still objectivists or realists, you absolute idiot. So if I can't survive you, what's the argument? You're getting absolutely bullied, by the way. You're getting dominated rhetorically. You're getting rhetorically slammed. You don't even have a single argument for beliefs.
Not getting close enough here. This could be. Great work from the keeper to keep it out. This could get interesting. This is getting unbelievable.
Is that too big of a epidemic? Is that too many syllables?
Go again with the gap now a full 5-0.
You can't give an argument, idiot.
To Di Maria. It's a good ball. Pass was read and the ball has changed hands. Due to the foul, the free kick's awarded.
Therapy after this rhetorical slam.
Over the touchline it goes. It'll be a throw-in now.
Argument, Riley, an argument would be a set of premises that lead to a conclusion, right? So you came up here and you said she should have the choice, right? Yeah. So I've asked you this like 5 times. When you tell me she should have the choice, that would be the conclusion, okay? So all you've done since you come up here is you begged the question. Then you came up here, right? And you said justifies abortion, but she can't get an abortion to 7 weeks.
Yeah, they're too stupid.
Which would be a contradiction, Dodo.
Yeah, even you know what's funny? They're so stupid that even if we were to say that bodily autonomy does exist, which we obviously don't grant because they don't have an argument for metaphysical options.
Actually, she already said that, buddy.
Hey, idiot. You're engaging with me. Anyway, even if I were to grant you that, you still have a contradiction in your view. Because you're saying that there should be impositions on one's bodily autonomy past T1. Past T1, all of a sudden you're saying that, well, it's okay to impose bodily autonomy. So you're presupposing bodily autonomy exists. Wait, idiot. The authors of the literature, by the way, Cave Weller, about bodily autonomy, like John Locke, right? The very people that actually authored the
and cleared away. This is what they've been looking for, the
rights that you espouse and presuppose. Say that fetuses have bodily autonomy, you stupid fuck. You're a troglodyte.
not far away with the final attempt on goal.
They didn't say don't fit on.
Quick break, playing
Right?
forward with pace and the movement
That's
off the ball.
I didn't
So
know.
intelligent, so close to finishing it off as well.
Like that person He said that words to me.
That's because I knew that, but like that's why bodily autonomy is literally beautiful at conclusion. It's like because I heard of this before from serendipity.
New closer. Extraordinary gentleman, Gabber.
Or like bodily autonomy, as John Locke said, because if it because I don't know, I haven't read it, but like John Locke states right that it's inherent, they would have it. Like the bodily autonomy is literally conceptualized by John Locke. So a board should be violating their bodily autonomy. There you go. It would follow.
That's you. Do you like getting like verbally destroyed? Is that what you like? You just like your kings
This
in your
could be
bed, just
dangerous.
get verbally slammed by somebody like.
Surely someone's got to do something about this. Ball lost and the chance gone.
Probably like that. I should be charging it. Steady, yes, steady. Yeah, what's the
We're
argument?
now inside the final 10 minutes.
They're getting triggered again. What's the argument? Yeah. They'd be
Dominic
argument after one last.
You can see and sense the frustration after that. It needed a more subtle, certain finish.
What's the argument?
This is looking good. What next? The goalkeeper more than ready for it. That will be a throw-in now.
They must not have good dads.
Can someone attack this?
They've got daddies.
And at the end of all that, there's nothing doing for them.
They got daddies.
And the Hurricanes have given the ball away.
Yeah.
And into the box it goes. But that's ended up being the goalkeeper's ball. And the game comes to an end with the home fans in positive mood. That's the win they came to see.
Well, that was an emphatic result, wasn't it? They looked so confident in attack.
Nova can't read, by the way. I can start with that. This must be one of your buds. Oh, yeah, I really get something. I guess I picked up my clue his name. He's a low tier that I've bullied many times, but hey, if he wants to come up, he can try to give an argument. No, I'm talking about the guy beside you. He said, I don't speak. I'm the silent magician. I speak with arm. No, we're the silent victim, by the way. Probably silent victim. Yeah.
So my guy, Nova, you should have went into Darian's live. You would have fun with that thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. That thing's you want to give an argument. That thing's irrational. He don't even know what an argument is. Oh, no, the guy that took my messages today,
Yeah, maybe he's got too much, you know. He doesn't know. Dump the sapience out of him. That's right. And the answer is, we're going to similarity. It's now. It's two different so I engage with you several times. You stick to the comments because you fear words in excess of 3 syllables from an order. Oh, I agree, Allie. Mama Becky is worse than that guy that we're talking about, the Darien guy or whatever his name is. Relations outside of marriage, which is biblically defined as one man and one woman. You yourself, right? Or English thing. A shaman. For $6.99 each, you can mix and match this and that, or this, and that. I'm standing in front of a public school which had just turned into a refuge for children and their family who had to flee their home without nothing. I just don't. I don't find it interesting. I think it's boring. So, moving on. This one's more interesting in all the wrong ways. So, the Archbishop of Chicago, Cardinal Supich, plans to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to Senator Dick Durbin. And Senator Dick Durbin is a Democrat. And I was going to say he's a rabidly pro-abortion Democrat, but that's redundant. He's a Democrat, so he's rabidly pro. They don't make any other kind of Democrat these days. So he's a rabidly pro-abortion Democrat. And that's raised a lot of concern, justified concern, outrage, justified outrage among Catholics. Why are we awarding this guy? I mean, it's bad enough when the Archbishop refuses to loudly condemn somebody like Dick Durbin. That's what should be happening. You should be rebuking him publicly, repeatedly. Not only do we not get that, but instead you're going the other direction. You're going to give this guy an award. So the Pope Leo, was asked to weigh in on this, and I still haven't quite. It's still surreal to me that the Pope can be asked a question now, and we in America can listen to the answer and understand what he's saying without a translator. So it's the first time in history when that's been the case, and it's good. It's a very good thing. And it's good because now we don't have to, during Pope Francis, the reign of Pope Francis, he would often have these conversations with reporters, but if you only speak English, you couldn't understand what he was saying. So we would always be relying on translation. And he would say all these things, and often the things that he would say would be, he would seem to be saying things that as a
believing Catholic you would find objectionable, but there was always it's like a little bit obscure, and so you were never quite sure, and they can always say, well, it's lost in translation. We don't have that problem this time. We can just listen to what Pope Leo was saying, which is good. But what's not so good is what he was actually saying. So let's listen to that.
Just wanted to ask one thing that has become a bit of a divisive subject in the U.S. right now. Cardinal Suprich giving an award to Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is or rather, he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people of faith right now decipher that, feel about that, and how does it feel about it?
Sick of 4 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life.
A very bad answer.
Someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who say I don't Fernando Peromo, I don't know anyone has all the truth on that. Excitement is in the air, of course. This is respect. And that we search together, both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find church teaching on each one of these issues.
That is a really bad answer. That's a bad answer, and it's not bad in some kind of semantic way. As a Catholic, I wouldn't sit here and be pedantic and pick the Pope apart just to prove that I'm smart or something. Okay, I don't want to. Well, actually, the Pope. Pope Leo. But actually, let me tell you, just kind of smug, correcting someone. I don't want to do it. I wouldn't do it. What he said, his answer is just fundamental bad. It's fundamentally bad and wrong. And it's potentially deeply confusing for a lot of people. So it needs to be addressed. It just has to be.
This is Matt Strang.
Some Catholics,
This is Matt Strang when he talks about these things.
So these are people I relate to in so many ways, but for some very conservative Catholics, they take the view that as a Catholic like myself, a public eye, I just should not be publicly criticized for the Pope at all. That it's not appropriate to do. That's the view of some very conservative. And I disagree with it. I don't like doing it. It's sad to have to do it. But when you're saying stuff like this, well, we're just gonna let it sit out there. We're gonna let it, just like let it go unopposed. You can't do that.
To resume play.
It's scandalous. People are scandalized by this. Led astray. Now, it would be one thing if we could rely on church leadership a little farther down the ladder to speak up in these scenarios and offer clarification. But we can't. And so, relies on just normal people to speak up and say this is wrong. And this is just wrong. It really is. Like, it's outrageous.
Finding a bit of space in the flank.
He says that if you're against abortion, you're in favor of death penalty in the department. Okay. That is again wrong and ridiculous. First of all, God himself prescribes the death penalty in the Bible. Is God not pro-life? This is why you cannot, as a Christian, take the position that the death penalty is fundamentally or inherently immoral, or you believe, anti-life. Just the same thing as being fundamental. You can't take that position. That position is ruled out. It's off the table. God ordains it. He prescribes it. So if you believe the death penalty is fundamentally wrong or anti-life, you're either saying that God is guilty of a moral crime, or you're saying that the Bible does not accurately record God's commands. And these claims are themselves inadmissible for a Catholic. Pope Francis said inadmissibly that the death penalty is inadmissible. What is actually inadmissible is to call it inadmissible for the reason I just described. You can't get around it. Now, you can argue the death penalty shouldn't be used anymore. You can argue that things have changed, that you can argue that our circumstances are different. I wouldn't agree, but you can't argue that. But to make any kind of fundamental moral claim about the death penalty itself is to offer a moral critique of God. And there is no way around it. There just isn't. And saying, well, that was the Old Testament. That's your answer. You just don't. Like, this like, basic Christian teaching, you don't understand. You don't understand the basics of, like, how to read the Bible. It doesn't work that way. That the stuff in the Old Testament just like, that doesn't count anymore. That doesn't count. That's all. It was all wrong.
Nicely done. They've broken down
no. No. The Old Testament is also the Word of God, and God again prescribes the death penalty in the Old Testament.
They might be onto something.
Which means that, like, again, you can make a lot of arguments. It doesn't, like, that in and of itself, by itself, is that necessarily that we should have the death penalty.
They might be starting their move here
in our country today, because you can try to make the argument, well, circumstances and all that. But what you can't do is say that it's morally inadmissible, that it is, which is what Pope Francis said, that it's a contradiction with dignity, which is what he said, that it's anti-life, because that's not a circumstantial argument for the death penalty. You're talking about the death penalty fundamental. You're making a fundamental argument of the death penalty itself, which would mean that would have applied thousands of years ago, which would mean that you're using a moral critique of God, and it's just, that's like theologically incoherent. Then you just can't do that. Also, by the way, Pope Francis came along a few years ago and said, the death penalty is inadmissible. He was not only contradicting the Word of God, but he was also contradicting 2,000 years of church teaching. Right, for 2,000 years. That was not the teaching of the church for 2,000 years. And then Pope Francis came along, approximately 12 and a half seconds ago and said, actually, I've decided the whole thing is wrong. Actually, though, 2,000 years of church teaching was wrong, the Bible was wrong, God's wrong, everybody's wrong. I'm right. So that's what he did. That's what he did. And it's indefensible. And even putting all that aside, to draw a moral equivalence between executing a convicted burglar after a fair trial, and then on the other hand, dismembering a child is madness. I mean, that's flat out moral madness. Okay, these things, even if you're against the death penalty, clearly these are not on the same moral plane. On the one hand, you are convicting someone who's committed a heinous crime in a country where that person knows the death penalty exists. They have volunteered themselves for this punishment by committing a crime that they knew had that punishment attached to it. And then this penalty is being carried out by
like the death penalty is way like that's, and I was on the panel. I wanted to watch this because I already listened to it today. I was on the panel. I'm like, it's an absolutely morally bankrupt position because it's not even to get because that's the thing with being pro-choice on the left is up means down and down means up to these people. But like because the position makes no sense. How could something be alive? How could something not be alive? Um, and grow and become more complex. Because when you actually